So my blood is already starting to boil. Today is Friday the 11th. Yesterday I made a video that there's a bank that crashed. It failed basically, and the regulators have taken it over and are now pretty much running it. The people can't get their money out of the bank. And you can rest assured, those funds that are not being released to the depositors, I'm talking the small fries like you and I, you can rest assured those monetary funds will be going to pay for the big boys who invested in that bank. They'll get their money. But I digress. So that video was made yesterday, and I mentioned that there was just talk between the investors, the people who had money to lose, about we might need a bank bailout. And I, at the time yesterday, I said, well, don't fret right now, don't worry, because there's no talk about a bank bailout from authoritative sources. Well, just this morning in the news, about a half an hour ago, they're already talking about on the news. And once it hits the news, you can rest assured it's going to happen. A bank bailout. And, you know, they normally test the waters, the temperature of the waters by leaking something, by leaking the, bank bailout, see how the people react. Oh, nobody's freaking out. Oh, okay, maybe we can move forward with this. I think the last bank bailout was during the housing crash, the housing market crash, 2007, 2008-ish. And at the time, and they're using the same terminology because it worked before. We're going to go ahead with the same game plan, the same verbiage and everything. At the time, they said, well, these banks are too big to crash. They're too big to fail. I say if something's too big to fail, then it's too big to exist. For the safety net of the people, at the detriment of the people who ultimately pay for those failures. See, the banking system, the people who own the bank, the big investors, they don't pay for their decisions. They don't pay for their misallocations of funds, or they don't pay for their investing when they make a wrong decision, or when they go woke and people stop wanting to utilize that corporation. They don't pay for those mistakes. You and I do. This safety net is allowing them to gamble risk-free. Risk-free. If you're constantly getting bailed out, and if you're constantly never having to pay for your own mistakes, there is no reason to continue that business model. And that's what it has become, a business model, risk-free gambling at the detriment of the American taxpayer who pay for those mistakes. You and I, we have some kind of investments. We garner those risks. We absorb those failures when they occur. Regardless of what the investment is, we make a conscious decision to go out and invest in it. And if it pays off, it pays off. We reap the rewards. And if it doesn't pay off, we absorb the damages. We absorb the punishment and whatnot that comes along with it. We alone never call out for a bailout. We will never get a bailout if our 401ks tank, or our stock investments tank, or our gold and silver crashes. We never get a bailout, yet we are supposed to bail out them. I always said the slavery never ended. It was perfected. You and I are slaves, regardless of race or nationality. We are all slaves. We become their slaves. They no longer work for us. That includes some factions in our government. They no longer work for us. They see us as their slaves, regardless, I got to say this, race or nationality. They see us. We are their slaves. It's funny, God only needs 10% tithing, yet our government needs 50, 60, 70, whatever they can get from us, tax rate. Anyway, I got to go. More to come on this bailout. More to come on this bailout. I think it's high tide that people start paying for their own mistakes and stop playing the victim. Stop asking for a bailout from us who are already suffering economically. They need to pay for their own crimes, not out of spite. I'm not saying this out of spite. I'm saying this as a fatherly figure, maybe. Pay for your own crimes, learn from your mistakes, and next time you might succeed. Too big to fail should be too big to exist. Take care.